Hi everyone, my name is Lexi, and this is the third week of Advent, which the theme is love. So I'm going to tell you my love story. It's a little unconventional, maybe even a little crazy to some, but it was February 2nd, 2013, and I was at a worship service, and we were singing the song, "Oh, How He Loves Us." And my hands raised in the air, and I was just worshiping and just taking in how much God loved me. And then this thought came to my head, and I knew God was speaking to me. So it was a thought that wasn't my thought. And the thought was, take your cross ring off your right hand, where it had been for like over 10 years, and move it to your left ring finger. And he was telling me that I was never to marry and that I was to be all his. This is the ring. And it used to be on this hand. And during that song, I moved it over to this hand. And as soon as I did, I had this overwhelming feeling of just love and joy and peace. And more things came to me that I knew God was saying to me. And he said things like, the plan he has for me is better, single, and that he had adventures for us to go on, and that he didn't want to share me with anyone else. I remember just having a big smile on my face and feeling like this is how a bride feels on her wedding day. So it was just such an overwhelming feeling. So it's coming up on 10 years now that I've been married to Jesus. Every February 2nd, I celebrate it as our anniversary. Something else cool that happened just a couple weeks after that very first, February 2nd in 2013, a coworker of mine was heading to the mall to buy a new diamond ring for herself, and she took off a diamond ring she had on her hand, and she gave it to me, and she said, "I want you to have it." I said, "I can't take your diamond ring." And she goes, "Yeah, I just want you to have it." She didn't know anything about what had just happened. I hadn't shared the story with her yet at all. But what was really cool, this is the ring she gave me. And it's like a vintage diamond ring. And what was cool is for the last couple of years before that happened, when I ever thought about getting married, I thought about having a vintage ring as my wedding ring. So just a couple weeks after God said I wouldn't marry anyone, he gave me a vintage wedding ring through a friend that knew nothing about it. That was really, really amazing and a really cool story. What also really made sense about me being married to Jesus is that during that time in 2013, I was working with the youth at our church, and I was sharing with them the gift of singleness. I was telling them how not everyone gets to be single in their adult life. Some people get relationships their whole adult life, and that there's such a gift to being single. And I would read them this scripture out of 1 Corinthians 7:34 and 35. An unmarried woman or virgin is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in both body and spirit. But a married woman is concerned about the affairs of this world, how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a right way in undivided devotion to the Lord. So it's just so cool. It's like, well, this is one of my callings in life is singleness. And I have the perfect husband. Now, whenever I hear the song, "Oh, How He Loves Us," it's like it's our song, it's me and Jesus' song. And the line in the song that says, "I don't have time to maintain these regrets." When I think about the way he loves us, any regret of not having an earthly husband or anything like that just fades away. Nothing compares to the love that Jesus has for me and the life that he has given me. He said that night, one of the things he said was that we'd go on many adventures together. Well, if you know anything about my life, I have been on a lot of adventures. After that, I got another daughter. I already had one, and I got another daughter through adoption or guardianship. My Becca came to live with me a few years later after that. We moved to Maui, got to have an adventure of living in Hawaii. And then I got another daughter, little Melody. And then a few years after that, I got to move to India and got 23 more daughters and my girls in India that I loved and cared for, and they called me mom. So, I mean, God has blessed this life and this calling that he has given me, and I'm just so excited to share it with you guys in this week of love. Okay. Merry Christmas, everyone.